Central African time. Let's talk the UN Refugee Agency now. So the UNHCR and the International Telecommunications Union, or ITU, are stepping up efforts to ensure that millions of displaced people and their host communities are connected to the internet by 2030. The Connectivity for Refugees initiative, active in countries like Chad, Uganda, and Ethiopia, aims to make digital access a lifeline for education, health, and livelihoods. To tell us more about this and the recent joint ITU-UNHCR-GSMA visit to Chad, we're joined by Christine Sunt, who is Senior Advisor and ITU Focal Point for the Connectivity for Refugees initiative. Christine, a very good morning to you. How are you this Wednesday?
Good morning, and thank you for having us in this discussion. We're really pleased to be with you this morning.
It's our pleasure, thanks. And let's start with the big picture in terms of why is digital connectivity such a critical issue for refugees and displaced communities in this day and age?
Yes, as you know, ITU is the UN Agency for Digital Technologies, and our mission is really to connect the world. And we do this with partners through managing the satellites up in space, allocating radio frequencies, spectrum, developing technical standards to enable that the services and devices are interoperable. And we also work to support countries with assistance on different digital policies and regulations to ensure that digital infrastructure is available and accessible. So this is really what ITU is all about, expanding connectivity and access to everyone. And we do this with partners, and that's really what this initiative is also at its core all about, really reaching those who are most in need of access, connectivity to services, information, health, education, and so forth.
So you've just returned from Chad, and what stood out to you the most about that visit? It was a joint initiative between the ITU, the UNHCR, and GSMA, and you saw firsthand there what you needed to see.
Indeed, ITU was in Chad last week with our partners, the UN Agency for Refugees, UNHCR, the GSMA, as well as the government of Luxembourg. And we were there to advance our Connectivity for Refugees initiative. So this is an initiative to share with those who are listening to us that was born just about 2 years ago in a pledge to the Global Refugee Forum. And we came together with partners around a shared goal, and that was to advance connectivity for 20 million forcibly displaced people and their hosting communities by 2030. And I would say there are really many takeaways from the discussions that we held in Chad's capital, N'Djamena, and from engaging with local service providers, refugee students and entrepreneurs, and with community members in Farchana settlement, which is an area that's located in the east of Chad, close to the border with Sudan. And for example, we did visit a connected learning center in Farchana, which is supported by UNHCR Luxembourg and private sector partners like Cisco, where we sat down and we discussed learning objectives, but also future ambitions with the students. And there is just so much willingness to continue learning, even under such hard conditions and the circumstances that they are enduring when they are on the move, far away from their homes. And there is just so much hope for a better future.
So now, what other ways are you seeing being connected already making a difference? You cite the example there in the space of education. It gives them hope to continue on in their studies, and that's the positives you've seen. In any other ways, have you seen examples?
Indeed, we sat down also with a connected, we sat down with the local operators, Chad, Airtel, and Move. And they've really made a lot of infrastructure upgrades to help connect these very isolated areas in the east of the country. But they're still facing hurdles with regards to how to expand their services to reach these people who are in these settlements. And these were discussions that we held with them. We sat down and we also heard what is it really that we could also work with the government and its agencies and our partners to try to find solutions too. And these solutions are sometimes technical, maybe access to equipment, for example, and we can see what to do with regards to that. And sometimes there are really policy related, and then we can work with the government and its agencies to see how we can find solutions to those together with our partners and of course with the government.
So the Connectivity for Refugees initiative is active in places like Chad. We cited those examples, Uganda and Ethiopia. Where does the initiative aim to make digital access a reality next? We understand that the goal is to connect 20 million displaced people and host community members by 2030.
Yes, so we have a number of initiatives on the African continent, but we are also working with partners in other parts of the world. So here you cited Ethiopia, where I'm located. I'm connecting from ITU's regional office for Africa in Ethiopia at the moment, where there is also significant work undergoing with the government and with the stakeholders and with the private sector here, as well as Chad, Uganda. There is also a lot of work ongoing there. But at the core is really to look at, well, where are there challenges to meaningful connectivity that we can help address? So it's really an initiative that's very ambitious, 20 million refugees and their host communities. And this is really important as well. When bringing electricity, water, and connectivity to those very remote and rural areas, it's not only the refugees, but it's really also working very closely with the host communities and ensuring that we establish connectivity solutions that are sustainable for the long run as well in these communities.
What's the kind of support that is needed, and especially investment, to make this goal a reality?
Yes, I would really say that because we are looking holistically at meaningful connectivity. So at the core, of course, there is the availability of the access. In many of these refugee hosting areas, there is simply no access to the internet or access to sustainable electricity to have this connectivity and to have electricity in these communities. So that's really one of the core and core aspects that we are looking for investments and support for, to putting in place sustainable connectivity solutions, and also ensuring that that access has good quality and that it's reliable enough for people to take advantage of the opportunities that the internet offers. And we mentioned earlier, of course, access to education while you're on the move, access to health information, being able to be in touch with your loved ones. And another very important aspect is on affordability. Connectivity really needs to be available at prices that people who use this connectivity can afford. And this is not necessarily the case. So that's one area that we really look forward to support, to see how we can bring the connectivity of access and also the access to devices available for those who need it. Because to access the internet, this is also another area.
Christine, thank you so much again for your time, and have a great rest of your Wednesday.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you. Christine Sund is Senior Advisor and ITU Focal Point for the Connectivity for Refugees initiative.
Israel says that it's eager for peace and it needs peace to continue for its people.